Hello, everyone. This is the third episode of the Semitic Roots of Maltese podcast. And this particular episode has some interesting things, especially considering Arabic origins. So what's on the agenda today? Today's episode is going to be a little different because we still have the trilateral root of the day. We still have the grammar concept, but the grammar concept is going to be also an interesting note that came from Arabic. And today's trilateral root is also extremely interesting because Arabic doesn't even have this as a verb, as far as I know. And we also have a interesting expression that came from one of these from the expression today. So to let or to allow someone to do something. I forgot the two. Sorry about that. This verb hala, which is the base form, or yahal, which is the present tense form, or the gerundive, basically the ing, something that you're doing right now. This can also have the meaning of to leave or to abandon. This is similar in a lot of world languages, like some Romance languages like Spanish and Portuguese. They have this in like deixar, dejar, and other languages around the world that I've studied also typically use let. The verb for letting also means to leave something, and you can use this for leaving or leaving someone or something. And in Maltese, the meaning to leave or to abandon is much more common. However, I just found it interesting that it uses lil as the preposition for someone. And this is older Maltese. In Maltese, the construction that you would use for allowing someone to do something that I found in an older Maltese Bible, which uses a lot of archaic expressions that are just not used anymore in structures, which is why I study it, because there's a lot of things that are not in dictionaries, even old dictionaries. And this hala lil shihad ya'amel. Lil in Arabic or would be something like, it would be from li plus el, which means to the, literally to the. In Maltese, this has become one preposition meaning to. However, if you want to use lil, it can also mean to the, but you would add an extra L to it. You would take that L and change it into one of the sun letters. So, li shmara, to the river, stuff like that. Shihad means someone, so she is some. Had by itself means nobody, but shihad together means someone. And an example sentence, which came from this older Maltese Bible, so they did not let anyone go free or run away. So this expression is a little bit morbid, I know, to spare someone's life. However, this contains an interesting relic from Maltese's past. It's also a way for them to say to spare someone's life. It might translate something as to let someone live, or to let someone have their life. Literally, it means to allow to someone's life. So this is a usage of the last slide. The interesting note here is that this lu, or rather lu, is li plus hu. So in Arabic, you can use when you write it with just the lam. However, as far as I understand, it's pronounced li. At least my Arabic teacher pronounced it that way. Whenever you combine this lam in Arabic with an object form, it means to the something. You put nouns after it. So you can say to this object or to this person. Whereas in Maltese, this has evolved in the past 8 centuries to become permanently affixed to verbal endings. So in Maltese, you can only use this at the end of a verb. You cannot use li by itself and attach a noun after it. If you want to do that, then Maltese has a separate preposition for that, which is lil. Also, the other thing to note here is that whenever you're using this particular expression, you need to make sure that the possessive form that follows height literally means life. The form that you put after height, like u for him, ha or ah for her, because the H is silent. The H without a cross is silent. Them lines up with the form that is used after the lil in Maltese. So halilu haitu, halia haita, halilum haitum. Today's rare and outdated word. I have never seen this word used in any Maltese source ever. oftentimes people will go onto Wiktionary and they'll add new words. And I try to follow those things because it's someone must have got it from somewhere, and it's always interesting to see what comes out of that. So I've been following that for that reason, because I'm a sucker for old Maltese words. I can't help it. I've got to get. I'm trying to basically trace the entire language, the language in full. There's also a dictionary I'm going through as well, slowly but surely, that has a lot of these old words that you can't find anywhere. So there's a lot of, if you want to learn the full Maltese language without the Italian, like what it was before all these Italian words got in there, it's possible. You just have to really dig for them. But anyway, so yeowila, it literally means by any chance, and this is said to arrive from Arabic al-ila, which supposedly means and if not. And according to the source I got this from, they were comparing this to something like perhaps X and otherwise perhaps Y. This would be spelled the same way if you're writing this in the Malto-Arabic script. Whenever I write Maltese, I typically like to write it in an etymological, historical way, because I like to stay true to its origins in Arabic. However, you can write it phonetically if if you're writing it as well. But like I said, I like to write it as close to the original as I can, so that it can kind of stay as part of that Neo-Arabic variety. I just like to write it this way. It's kind of like how English has words that haven't changed in centuries, it reflects its older spellings, kind of like how I like to write Maltese whenever I write it in the script. And this can also bear the meaning of perhaps or maybe. In the next episode of this podcast, we're going to be talking about different ways that Maltese can say maybe. And most of them are either not used, they've either fell into disuse, or they're just not even mentioned anymore. So that'll make for an interesting segment. And today's trilateral root, this one is very interesting, at least to me. It's very interesting. So in Arabic, the word, I believe it's pronounced shay'an, something like this. It means nothing. At least what I learned from an Algerian teacher told me this a while ago. That it can also mean nothing. In Maltese, Shane literally means nothing. However, this has evolved into a trilateral root, which deals with the quality of nothing. Literally, the quality of nothing meaning that you've destroyed whatever was there and turned it into nothing. You've annihilated something. And it can also mean with lowering someone's value. As you see on the first bullet point on the left side, Shane means nothing, as I mentioned before. However, whenever you use this, and this would be the first form of Maltese's 10 forms, Yashane means to annihilate. And then you have the T value, Tishin, or the T noun from it, which literally means self-degradation. And it can also mean whenever you're just turning something into nothing. There's not really a translation for this. And then you have Shayyen, which this is form 2, and this literally means to diminish or to ruin. However, it can also mean to consider something insignificant, as well as putting someone down. And then you have another verb from this root, from form 5, Shayyen, which means to be reduced or to humiliate someone. Shayyen and Shayyen do not require an object unless you're using it for putting someone down or for humiliating someone. And an example sentence with this, I wouldn't typically put sentences from this, but I found this one interesting because Shane in the first form is not mentioned in Jabra. I wasn't able to find it anywhere else. So I decided to put it here because I found this in the older Maltese Bible, which is why I go through it, because there's a lot of interesting things like this that would not be mentioned otherwise. So Yashin Kul Awa, or Yashin Kul Kawa, if you want to pronounce that Q. This literally means to annihilate any force. So the word kul typically means all of something. However, it can also mean any in this context. And awa means force. However, it can also mean strength. That's it for today. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you really liked the video, share it with your friends, share it with your linguist buddies, share it with people who might find this interesting, share it with your family, they'll watch it. Thank you everybody for your support, and thank you for watching.